Hello and welcome to a look at a Doodlebug Bug Bash 2 for the Amiga, a game that was made by Mutation software and released by Core Design. The background story plot thing for this game is that just your normal everyday normal day in Cartoonia, things are going about as they usually do. Suddenly a cry for help is heard, and the princess of Cartoonia is yelling something about some evil thing, but then her voice fades as she's getting dragged away. For some interesting reason, the king is not overly keen on the fact that someone's just nicked his daughter, so he asks the creatures of Cartoonia to go and rescue her. One of them steps forward, a bug of some description, and promises to do his best to rescue the princess. The king gives the bug some pencils and an eraser, which were left behind by the artists that do Cartoonia, and sends the bug on his way. As you can likely already gather from the graphics, this is a platform game in which you have to navigate various different levels, avoid obstacles, defeat or bypass enemies, find the exit, and move on to the next stage. The pencils you were given are your utility items. They are color-coded in different colors and will draw something different depending on what color you are showing out. The blue one will draw an umbrella that you can pick up, and the next long fall you do will be slowed down, so it will work as a semi-parachute kind of thing. The red pencil, when thrown out, will draw a balloon that you can use to float up a certain distance. The green one will draw a bubble potion that will make you temporarily invulnerable, and the yellow pencil will draw a clock which you can pick up and temporarily freeze enemies and that kind of stuff. The eraser is a smart bomb kind of thing that you toss out, and then it will split 3 times, each time exploding in a star-shaped kind of burst. And you can use that to get rid of enemies which are hard to reach, or fight end of stage boss. Because you have various different stages which are divided into sub-levels, and at the end of certain sub-level you will be facing a boss. And the game itself recommends that you try to save your pencils and the eraser for that particular fight. As you go about, you will meet various different characters who have various different things to say, and you will also find switches that you can activate. When they are red, they are off, when they're green, they are on, and depending on the switch, it will do something nice or something not so nice. And only by experimentation will you work out whether that is clever or not to activate a certain switch. If we go over the interface quickly, even bottom left side you have your score. To the right of that you have a heart that will shrink as you get hit. You can take 3 hits before you lose a life. To the right of that you have your lives. And to the right of that again you have a coin symbol with a number, and that is the number of coins you have, because you use coins for various different things. To the right of that you have your number of umbrella pencils, balloon pencils, invulnerability potion pencils, and clock pencils, and further to the right you have your number of erasers you have available. Other pickups you can find includes hearts, which will restore some of your health, and pencil sharpeners, which will give you 1 of each of the pencil types. From a graphical point of view, considering the fact that the world is called Cartoonia, you could likely expect a certain level of cartoonish graphics, and if you do that, you will not be overly disappointed. The general theme is sort of cartoonish, and of course, the different levels have different themes. This is Toyland, so the theme is toys, which I find interesting that there's a Sega Mega Drive. Oh, it's not said to be a Sega, but it is said to be a Mega Drive, and I'm fairly sure there was only one Mega Drive available. So I don't know whether the game designer meant that as a nod to Sega or mockery, indicating that the Mega Drive is just a toy. But regardless, the different objects and enemies and that kind of stuff looks appropriately toy-like with this particular level. Except for the clowns, I do find them to stick out a bit, like they don't really belong with the rest of the graphics. Maybe it's just me. The main character, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't dislike it, but I could not get attached in any way, shape, or form to the main character. I don't know. I think it's his size that bugs me, pun intended. But overall, I'm perfectly acceptable of or accepting, I think it's called, of the graphical style. Sound effects. It's always one of these odd things to make comments of, because unless they are particularly bad or particularly epic or stand out or feel misplaced in any way, shape or form, it's very hard to say anything other than the sound effects fit the game, they fit the tone, they fit the style, and as such they work perfectly fine. The music supports the style of game and the general feel of the game, and it's by and large decent enough. I do find that the music in this level particularly loops incredibly quickly and as such becomes incredibly tedious. Other people have claimed that the later levels music is very good, and I can't confirm that, but I see no reason not to believe that to be the case. The controls, left and right will do left and right things, and up, whether it's straight up or diagonally up, will cause you to jump in that direction. When you are jumping, you can hold down the fire button and do a spinny thing, and if you land on an enemy doing the spinny thing, you will blow up the enemy in tiny bits, and they will leave a bonus behind that you can pick up. When you're on the ground, the fire button will toss whatever pencil or eraser you have selected, and you scroll through them by using the down directions on the joystick. So straight down, diagonally down, left or right will cycle through the different pencils. The controls are perfectly fine as such. They can feel a bit floaty, but I think it's because there's a slight amount of momentum attached to the movement of the character. This game very obviously has taken inspiration from other platformers, and you can easily detect a bit of James Bond and a bit of Sue, and even a bit of Mario in this particular game. But it does have some features which I find rather unwelcome. First and foremost, there's an awful lot of blind jumps and drops, and hidden spikes popping up from boxes and things like that, and until you memorize every single box and the timing of the spikes coming in and out and all that kind of stuff, and where enemies are that will throw crap at you, you will likely lose a life very, very quickly. And as the game resets the level when you lose a life, that means that you can be forced to replay the same level quite a few times until you have mastered it or blundered across the exit. The fact that you have a falling damage, I mean, they had to have some sort of use for the umbrella, I suppose, but maybe it's just me being spoiled by not experiencing falling damage in platform games for a very long time. So I find it incredibly jarring. It is a platform game. It's a fairly decent one, and it is, as I mentioned before, obviously inspired by other classic platform games. Is it better than any of them? I would say no. But that, of course, is entirely up to the individual. It is not unenjoyable, but it requires quite a bit of persistence and patience. On that note, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye for now.